Hey, Surry County Republicans, Joe Barr. A reminder of the hashtag where you can see all of this in one thing. Hashtag Stop the Surry County Steal. Hashtag Stop the Surry County Steal. If you type that in the search engine or search in Facebook, all the information regarding what I'm posting will come up, and you can go scroll down through it and see all that I've been pointing out. There's so much to bring forth about this corrupt leadership in our Republican Party, at the top of our party leadership, not the elected officials currently anyway, but I don't have anything really on those right now anyway that I would think needed to be shared. But the chairman, Mark Jones, vice chairman, Gail Norman, and their puppet master, Kevin Chenault. While I'm here, I will mention many of your precincts. You've seen Gail Norman and a gentleman named Chuck Kubanek, and they're parading Chuck Kubanek around, wanting Kevin Chenault's wanting Chuck Kubanek, who is Kevin's best friend, if you will. They're wanting him to be the next Kevin Chenault boy toy. Mark Jones was the previous political boy toy. And Chuck Kubanek, they're wanting him to be the new political boy toy and beckon to their every call. So we will be standing against Chuck Kubanek as best I can tell from everybody I'm talking to. And those are from both sides. We're tired of this type of leadership. I've been asked to step up and help head it, help talk to everybody and get names together that everybody in the county that would represent this party well, and not sacrifice the Republican Party values, and definitely not use those positions for personal gain or to use corrupt type of behaviors to maintain control or gain control in any form. There'll be a lot coming on that. I've dug out some more stuff today on the misuse of the power by these folks at the Republican Party, and it's going to be shocking to some of you, not so shocking to others. But we're putting together, haven't even started yet. We're getting past all the precinct meetings, and I've told everybody not to even acknowledge anything I'm doing. Not to even acknowledge anything I'm doing, because I don't want them to know. I don't want them to know who's doing what, and anybody that might have anything to do with it. Because right now we're the majority, definitely the majority of Republicans, and the only way they're going to maintain is if they keep cheating the system and twisting the rules to maintain power. And hopefully Christians will stand up and be what we've come to call in Surry County the salt and light of the party, and represent that salt and light and stand against what I'm going to say is evil, or definitely lies and corruption to maintain power and manipulate people in the system. But I just want to point that out to you. Those papers, one thing I'm going to point out, the papers are not a active order. Someone brought that up, and I'm not putting out any evidence with this video, but there'll be another one coming shortly with some more information of the corruption. But the papers I saw, someone mentioned yesterday that I got that was an order that was in place to ban me from Republican Party events. The judge saw through that and saw it for what it was. It was just an effort to silence and do exactly what liberal Democrats are doing, trying to use the judicial system to shut down opposition. And this group, Kevin Chenault, Mark Jones, and Gail Norman, are no different. They'll use all means to maintain power, including misusing the judicial system, just like liberal Democrats have done throughout the years with the Obama administration stuff. So anyway, that's just, I can still go currently to Republican Party events. I can, currently still go anywhere, and I will. I'm not going to be intimidated or bullied by Mark Jones or Kevin Chenault or papers from the court or anything like that. The truth is the truth. So those are just a request to get papers. That's one thing I wanted to point out. One thing, a big thing I want to point out as well, it broke my heart this week. Someone, a friend, a distant friend that I talk to often online, said that many are saying that Joe Barr is just as guilty. And I guess technically I am if you want to make me guilty. Someone said, Joe, you're repenting and have repented. And I told that person, I said, well, technically the only thing I needed to repent for was not revealing it when I finally found it out. And the burden that I had, if you'll go back and look at my first post on these, and I had to pray about it for several days, And I intentionally didn't want to call it a conspiracy because it wasn't a conspiracy. There were 3 people, Gail Norman, Mark Jones, and Kevin Chenault, directing it. Many of us, me included, trusted those 3 individuals, and I'm not going to mention the 4th name who was sitting, and he'll know who he is. He was sitting with Mark Jones at a Republican meeting the first night I met Mark Jones technically, and he said, Joe, this is the guy you need to support. And he knew I busted my butt for the Republican Party, and he said, Joe, and he pointed to Mark Jones, and so I trusted him. So that being said, there are many people like me in that instance who trusted the people that were leading, if you will, for lack of a better word. I think it's a sad word for those 3 to call them leaders in any way. They're just backbiters and twisters and whatever you want to call them. They will step over you in a second to gain anything for themselves, just like they've done me. I've got texts from Mark Jones as early as 2 weeks ago. I'd bought him a box of ammunition. We were going to meet and pick that up. He was going to pick that up until I objected to their process, which was wrong. I objected, and then they blew up on me. Next thing you know, here I am getting served cease and desist and all of that, and all I'm doing is calling them out for what they're doing wrong. So I've got text messages, and we were going to meet for coffee, and he's going to give me the money for the box of bullets, and I've got all that text. So all it boils down to is I objected to what they're trying to pull on Surry County again, and I couldn't not object after knowing what they'd done before. But the big thing is, there are many people now that are just finding out that were involved, and this is what I wanted to point out. Just like me, I didn't know. I followed and did what they asked me to do to prove what they were saying was true. It was only after the fact, and the information will come to prove that, it was only after the fact that Mark Jones was chairman that I actually, and it was quite by accident, found out that all of that stuff that I had helped them and listened to them and followed them on was a lie. And that ultimately Mark Jones laid his hand on the Bible in Dobson and swore to a lie to maintain the power in this Republican Party as a leader. And so I didn't know, again, quite by accident to after the fact. And so to say I'm just as guilty, I guess I was as far as helping them, but I didn't know what they were doing was lies until after it was complete. And so I guess the biggest thing I've done since then is not tell it sooner. But I'll explain the timing of me telling it. I would have done it at the last one, but I was recovering from surgery at the last convention. But anyway, there are people that were involved in helping those 3 and trusting those 3 that were not guilty of any kind of conspiracy. That's why I said just got caught up in it in my first video, got caught up in it, that are just finding out now because they trust me and I'm putting the proof out there to prove it. They're just finding out now that all that was a lie and a sham. So what you'll find out going forward is if now, and I'm going to call them out on it in a coming video, if now they shake the hands of Mark Jones and Gail Norman and Kevin Chenault, and they tell you and come out and tell you to support these 3 and tell you they're going to support these 3, then you will know that they're all in with that group that's telling lies and all of that. Then you will know. I'm going to call them out, and I'm going to do that in a way later on, but I'm going to call this group out, and if they want to keep shaking those hands, we're going to know, and everybody's going to know the type of people that run around and support this type of leadership, corrupt leadership in our county. So that's coming as well. So everybody is not just as guilty. I wanted to point that out. It kind of broke my heart, and that's why I hadn't put out a video in a day or two, because I've been praying about that. That I didn't get angry over that, because people from outside the county have no idea what's going here, and they're making decisions based on little tidbits of what they're hearing and don't know the whole story. And I could talk 3 days solid on the whole story. There's been so much stuff going on with this group. The last thing I'm going to point out in this video, and again, I'm not going to share any written information, but these are facts that you can that will come out and you can look up. But in regards to the order that Mark Jones and then Harold Eustace, and Harold's a good guy. Don't let this let you think negative about him. He's doing a job for the Republican Party, and we're all friends, we're political friends. And he's a veteran, and thank God for his service. We are where we are today because of people like him. So he's just doing a job, and he and I talked some behind the scenes after I got the cease and desist, and all's good. And so that's why Mark Jones has taken it upon himself to go to court instead of carrying on. Plus, we brought in another attorney that's going to help counteract some of this stuff. But as far as the cease and desist I got, that I was calling out Republican leaders and slandering the Republican Party, Mark Jones, Harold Eustace, there's a gentleman on North Main off of North Main Street in Mount Airy that just got to be one of your precinct chairs. And the reason you're not calling him out, because you need his votes to try to steal this election again, steal this Republican Party leadership election. You need that precinct. But he's been calling out for over a month now. Every elected official, every Republican elected official almost, if not all of them, I hadn't seen them, but people have told me about them. He's been calling out every elected official Republican in this county, saying they're underhanded, they're taking money under the table, taking sacks of cash, being bribed, covering up murders. Even our sheriff that we supported as a party, that our sheriff is helping cover up a murder, covering up evidence, and also in the recent unfortunate untimely death of 900 in our county, our emergency management leader, even calling that a conspiracy and saying that the sheriff's department's covering that up. Our Republican sheriff. You talk about hypocrisy, Mark Jones? Where have you been? The difference was you need this guy's votes and his precinct votes, and you say it's not singled out to me. Where's the cease and desist been on him? Where's that been, Mark? Why hasn't he received a cease and desist as a Republican in this county for slandering the Republican Party? The difference is he's not calling you out, Mark. He's not calling you out, Gail Norman. He's not calling you out, Kevin Chenault. I am, because I know you're corrupt, and the evidence is going to prove it, and it has proven it. And no doubt you're telling your minions, if you will, don't talk to Joe Barr, don't acknowledge Joe Barr, don't shake his hand, don't be around him. That's fine with me. As I posted a post some time ago, I'd rather lose friends. They're not really your friends anyway if they listen to you and don't talk to me because of something you say. But that just helps everybody see that they're supporting the corruption as well. So they'll know at the end what kind of Christians these people are for supporting the corruption in this county. So I encourage them not to speak to me, not to shake my hands if you're telling them not to. I want them to shake your hand and pat you on the back, because they're going to know at this convention who they are. And we're going to call them out. And if I have to, I'm going to put a list out. I don't want to, because again, some of these people got caught up in it. But after this convention, we'll know if they're actually caught up in it or supporting it and going along with it. Anyway, those are 3 things I wanted to share today. How about being fair across the board where you cease and desist, Mark? Just because they ain't calling you out for your lies, they're still calling out Republicans, and you're supposed to stand for the Republican Party in this district, right? Or in this county. What's the deal? Everybody ain't calling you out for your lies. More hypocrisy. God bless Surry County. Hashtag stop the Surry County steal. More to come.